address, we have 192. Let's assume we have 192.168.0.1. That's the IP. That's the IP. Well, that's the IP class, though. Now, let's assume that in our network, this is what we have. We have 3 networks. First network, network 1. Let's assume we have like 15 devices. Network 2, we have, let's say, 20 devices. Network 3, we have, remember when we did subnetting, each network had 32 addresses, right? But what if our network doesn't have that number of
devices
or even devices, let's say addresses. So let's say our network 3, we have 30 devices. Let's stop at network 4. Let's do network 4. Network 4, we have 4 devices. How do we break this IP address? Let's say this last 24. How do we break this IP address to be able to satisfy every single network? That is what VLSM is about. Remember when we did subnetting, we just created 7 subnets with equal number of addresses. But in this example, the number of addresses we need is not the same. How do we create that kind of subnet? The first thing you want to do in this situation is this. The number of devices is not equals to the number of IP addresses. You know, the number of devices tells you the number of usable IP addresses, right? I'm sure you understand that. The number of devices only tells you the number of usable IP addresses. So in this instance, network 1 will need at least 18 addresses, at least 18. Because if you do 15, 16, at least 17 addresses plus 2. So this one you need at least 22 addresses. This you need at least 32 addresses. This you need at least 6 addresses, right? That's what you need for each of this. Now, let me write out what I need. I need 17 here. So let's rewrite this. Network 1, I need at least 17 addresses. Network 2, I need at least 22 addresses. Network 3, I need at least 32 addresses. Network 4, I need at least 6 addresses. Now, these are my needs. What is the first step to solving this problem? The easiest way to do it is to rearrange this from highest to the lowest. So if I want to rearrange it from highest to lowest, what's it going to be? So my need is going to be like this. I need 32, I need 22, 17, and 6. This is what my need is going to be. Right? Right?
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to do is this. Just because I know that this address cannot give me... Okay, no, it's fine. It's really fine. It's perfect. Yeah, it's really perfect. These are my needs. Now, we're going to go back to what we did before, subnetting. Let's start with the first address. I need 32 IP addresses.
2 to the power A.
I need 32 IP addresses. Now, let's take the address that we are breaking down. 192.168.0.1. Actually, the first thing you always want to do is write out the power of 2s. It's going to help you to solve this quickly.
128.
So 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 6, 2 to the power of 7. 128, right?
64,
64,
32,
32,
16, 8, 4, 2, 1.
Good. So that's our address. Let's create the first subnet. The first subnet will need 32 addresses. When we break this down, I told you always write out the subnet mask. So this is what? The subnet mask here is 255, 255, 255.0, right? In decimal. Now in binary, what's it in binary?
1,
1, 2,
1,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, no, size 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I know the number of addresses. You know, previously, in regular subnetting, we don't know the number of addresses, but we know the number of subnets. Now, I don't know how many subnets I have to create, but I know the number of addresses that I need. I need 32 addresses. Let's come here. Which of these is going to satisfy 32 addresses?
2 power 6.
5 satisfies 32 addresses. Now, that means that, you know, previously we're doing it this way. You know, previously we're doing it this way, right? We're going from here to here. I said look for where you have 1 and start and jump and start counting from there. But this time around, we are coming from the back. I need to borrow 5 bits from the host in order to be able to satisfy 32 address. No, I need to borrow 5 bits in order to be able to satisfy that host size of 32. So my magic number has to be 32. That's what it means. If my magic number is 32, it means that there has to be 5 bits on the host side. The host has to have at least 5 bits for me to be able to have an address of 32. So what does that mean? It means I'll start counting from the back. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 will be what should be assigned to my host. How many bits do I have left? 3. So I'm going to give those bits to the network. So that becomes what? Good. 1. How many subnets are we creating here? How many subnets can we create from here? Huh? Don't be afraid. Talk. We are giving the host 3 bits.
8.
Let me make your life easy.
8.
What is 3 bits here? 8. This is 3 to the power of 3 is what? 8. It means that we can create 8 subnets from here. Right? Do you understand it? I know VLSM is a little bit confused because you are doing the opposite of what you do when you do subnetting. You are coming from the back, not from the front. That's why sometimes it's a little bit confusing, but it's the same thing, the same process. So I said, let's do a recap. I need 32 addresses. If I come to my powers of 2, where is 32? Do I have a number that is equal to or greater than 32? Yes, I do. 5. So it means that 5 bits has to be assigned to the host. 5 bits, the host must have at least 5 bits. So if the host must have 5 bits, I start counting from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to be for the host and not for the network. Whatever is left, I can now give to the network. So I have 3 bits left, which I've given to the network. If I give 3 bits to the network, how many subnets can we create from 3 bits?
8.
We can create 8 subnets. Now, we know the subnet, we know the number of hosts. Let's now do what we've been doing before. Let's calculate the networks that we're creating. We know that the size of the network is what? 32 bits. 32, right? Or the 32 addresses, not 32 bits, 32 addresses, right? So let's look at the subnet. Subnet 1 is what? 1 is 192.168.0.1 to what? That's what? .32. I try to confuse a little bit by changing that to 1 instead of 0. You know, the previous one we did was 0.0, but this is 0.1. So this should be dot 32, end dot 32, right? Because the magic number, our magic number is 32, right? 32 plus 1 is what? 33. Minus 1? 32. So subnet 2, 192.168 0.33 to what?
Sir,
Yes.
can you explain again?
Sure. What part?
Sir, that's subnet 1.
So, what is our IP address? We're starting with our starting IP address is 192.168.0.1, right? And we know our magic number. Our magic number is 32, which is the same thing as 2 to the power of the number of bits for the host, right? 32. Now, we want to write out the subnet. We'll start from subnet 1. Take whatever address you've been given, put it there. Add your magic number to this. What's our magic number? 32. 32 plus 1 is what? 33. Minus 1? 32. Okay? Subnet 2. The same thing. 192.33, right? Add 1 to this. What? So after you subtract, right? Okay. That's the 64. This is what? The 65. To what?
1.
90.
Huh?
96.
So
96.
plus 32 is
96.
what?
96. 96.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is what? This is 3. What about 4? 97. To what?
118.
128.
118. 128.
128.
So it's 129. So that's minus 1, right?
Yes.
Then 5 is what? 5 is 129. To what?
160.
You can do all the way to 8. But I'm not going to do all the way to 8 because...
192.
Okay, let's do 6. This is what? This is 160, 161 to 192, right? 192, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's stop at 6. But if you want to do all the way to 8, it's up to you. But let's stop at 6. Now, what do I do next? I can take any of this subnet I created and assign to the first network. So for the first network, 32.
Sir,
Yes.
how did you find the second?
We are just adding the magic number. Add the magic number and subtract 1. So this is 33, right? So this is 32. The next one will be 33. 33 plus 32. That's what. That is 5. This is 65. Minus 1. That's 64. Okay. So the next one, add 1 to it. That's 65. Again, add 32 to it. 5, 6, 7. This is 6, 7. That's 97. Minus 1, 96. Just like that until you get to the last one. Now, guys, watch this. On this side, let's write. So there are four networks, right? Let's do network 1. 32 addresses. Now let's take one of these. Let's take that. Maybe let's take the first one. So it means for our first network, the 32, the network that requires 32 address, our address will be what? 192.168.0.1 / what? 27, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is our subnet mask in binary? It will be 255.
255.
No what? No? Time is 0. Remember we borrowed 3 bits.
Yes.
So now the 128 plus 64 plus 32 is what?
224.
224. Dot 224. So how many subnet? How many subnet do we have? We have about 7 subnet left, right? Okay. Let me write it here. We have dot 33 to dot 64. We have dot 65 to dot 96. We have dot 97 to dot 128. I think that should be enough. You can write out the other ones if you want, but the other ones will not use them. Those ones are going to be kept because we can't use them for this our scenario. Okay, good. We are done with the first part. This is done. Let's go to the second network. 22. We need 22 IP address. Let's take
How did you write that?
which one?
Network.
So /28 is /27 is this. So 3. I told you just what you do is you take this, all of this, put them here. So this is 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0. What is the decimal value? Wherever you have 1, look for the decimal value there and add them up. Everywhere you have, so the first one we have 1 here, this is 128, plus the next one we have 1 here, that's 64. Where do we have 1 here again, that's the 2. The other ones are zeros, so we just discard them, we don't bother about them. Alright, let's calculate for the
22.
second network. The one that it needs 22 addresses. So what do we do in this case? We'll take, let's take the next subnet. The next subnet is what? 192.168.0.33 to what? 192.168.0.64. What is the subnet mask there? This is subnet mask there, right? These are subnet masks there, right? Because they all have the same subnet mask. But this is the problem. We need 22 IP addresses. So we need to subnet this one that is already subnetted. Where is 22 here? Where do we have 22? So this is my example, and my example is actually flawed. So the example I give you is actually flawed. 32. So if it's 32, then it's not going to work the way I want it to work.
If we are taking
Let me
16, then
change. Let me change it. Let's assume this is let's assume we need okay, let me change this. Let's assume we need 10 here and we need 14 here. 10, yeah, that's okay. Let's assume we need 10 here and 14 here. I know this is going to turn out to be the same thing. Or let's even make it simpler. Let's assume we need 6 here and we need 4 here. The reason I'm changing is so that you can see how because in real life all of this would have been already calculated, and the subnet mask is not going to be the same for everything. That's what you're going to see in real life. It's because I just made up this example in a hurry. That's probably because if I leave it this way, it means that I don't have to do any subnet. I just take this subnet and just assign to that address, which I don't want to do. I want to actually subnet it so you can see what I'm saying. Okay, so let's assume that we need 14. So where do we have 14? This is too small. This is the closest, right?
So why we are not taking that address 192.168.0.1 for making 14 network address?
I don't understand. No, we could, like I said, we could use, we can't. This one, we said, let's assign this to the first one. We already assigned to the first one.
Okay.
Which is what we've done here. We've assigned it. So
Okay.
the next, we have 8 subnets. After we've done the initial first one of subnetting, we decide that the first subnet matches this first one. So let's just give that to this first one.
Okay.
Then we need to create addresses for the other networks I want to create. So what do? We go back to what we have left. We had 8 subnets.
Yeah.
We only use 1. So we have 7 subnets. Let's go to the next subnet. Let's grab that address and try to make it fit into this.
Okay.
And that is what we've written here. Right?
Yeah.
But this is a problem. This new subnet only needs 14 addresses. How do we break this subnet
into 14 address.
to match this address? We come back here. Where do you have 14?
16.
16 is the closest, right? 2 to the power of 4.
4.
What does that tell us? It tells us that
4 bits.
the 4 bit must be assigned to the host. So we come here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bits has to be assigned to the host. How many bits do we have left?
4.
No. 1.
Like 3 are used.
Remember, this is the subnet we are starting. This is the subnet mask we're starting from. So everything you have here, forget about it. You can't touch it. We have 5 bits for the host, but according to our design, the host must have at least 4 bits in order for us to be able to satisfy what we want to create. So after we dedicated those 4 bits to the host, how many bits do we have left? 1. So this 1 bit, we're going to borrow it to the network. If I borrow 1 bit to the network, how many subnets can I create? If I borrow 1 bit to the network, how many subnets can I create? So 2 to the power of 1.
2.
2. I can create 2 subnets. Now, I can create 2 subnets, and my subnet mask is going to change. So I'm going to give this to the host, 1 bit. So let's look at the subnet. What is our magic number?
32.
16.
Yes, sir.
Because how many bits do you have for the host? 4.
4.
2 to the power of 4 is what? 16. The magic number tells you the size of the subnet. Okay, so let's do that really quick. So we are doing 192.168. Yes.
Why didn't you sign it from the back?
What?
So from the back.
Because we are doing VLSM. This is not subnetting. I told you VLSM. You come from the back. Now why? Because in VLSM we know the number of host bits, but we don't know the number of subnets we are creating. But from your regular subnetting, you know the number of subnets you want to create, but you don't know the number of hosts. That's why you come from the front. VLSM, I don't know the number of subnets that I'm going to create, but I know the number of hosts that I need. So I will start counting from the hosts. Then whatever is left after I've counted my hosts, I will give it to the network. For subnetting, I know the number of network I want to create. I just go straight to the host and grab that number that matches. I just borrow from the host the number that matches how many network I want to create. Whatever is left is for the host. In VLSM, I know the number of hosts. I go from the back, count the number of host bits that I need. Whatever I have left, I will borrow it to the network. But for subnetting, I come in, grab the number of bits I need to create the subnet I want to create. Whatever is left is for the host. So that's the difference. That's why we are counting from the back. VLSM, you count from the back. Regular subnet is you count from the front.
So
Okay.
what did you do there? Like
Where?
you have,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I said we've calculated this.
Yes.
Now we want to subnet our subnets to be able to fit 14 addresses.
Yes.
Remember, the number of addresses we need is 14. This was our subnet mask before. So our subnet mask before was this. Now, how many bits do we need to fit 14? We need 4 bits. Yeah. We need 4 bits to be able to fit 14, right?
Yes.
Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that you need to reserve 4 bits for the host. And how do we do that? We start counting from the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 bit has to be reserved for the host. How many bits do you have left? 1 bit.
1 bit.
That 1 bit has to be given to the network. So that's why we changed this from 0 to 1. Right? Now, we are borrowing 1 bit to the network. How many subnets can we create? 2 to the power of 1 is what? 2. We can create 2 subnets. Right? Now, good. We know how many subnets we can create. We know our magic number, which is number of 2 to the power of number of bits of the host. Now let's calculate, let's write out the networks that we can create. The first one is one of the ones is 0.33. Our magic number is what? 16.
16.
So plus 16 is what?
49.
6, 7, 8, 9.
49.
That is
48.
48.48. That's network 1. Network 2 will be what? Dot 49 to what? 64. These are the two networks that we have successfully created. Remember, we still have. We had about 7 subnets from the first subnetting, right? Those 7 we are keeping them aside, but we've used 1 now, so there are 6 left. Those 6 you just put them somewhere. You don't need them for now. So this is, we can take the first one to satisfy that. So network 2, we need 14 addresses, right? Right? And what is our address we're using? Let's use the first one. 192.168.0.33 to what? Dot 48 slash what's the CID error for the
25.
Yeah, so that's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 slash
So we have
28.
not borrow 1 bit.
How many bits are on? How many bits has 1? That's what you're counting. That's what you're counting.
Yeah, I know.
Now it is not. We're not talking about the borrowing now. Let's write out the new subnet mask. What's the new subnet mask? Subnet mask is all ones. When you have all ones, is when you calculate. Is how you get your subnet mask, right? This is 8, 16, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So that's gonna be slash 28. Now, if you want to write that in decimal, what is it going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's that? 2 to 4 plus 16 is what? 2 to 4, 16 is what? This is 10. Right? So this will be 255.
Dot 255. Dot 255. Dot 240.
You can see the subnet mask is not the same again. Mind you, our next subnet, we need 6 IP addresses. Here we have 14. So we're not going to the first one now.
Yeah.
We will use the second one. Do the same thing again. Find find how many subnets you can create. Let's just do that. So let's use the second one. 49 and 64. 49.
64.
Now, how many bits are we borrowing for 6?
6.
How many bits?
3.
3.
3.
So we come here again. 1, 2, 3. How many bits we have left?
1.
Borrow that to the network. How many subnet can we create?
Subnet.
Yes. From
Eight.
here. We are borrowing 1 bit to the network. What does that mean? That means we can create
32.
2 subnets.
30.
2 subnets. What's our magic number here?
32.
No.
Sir,
8.
8.
how do we know that how many subnets we can create?
How many bits are you borrowing to the network? 1. 2 to the power of 1 is what? Right? So our magic number is 8. 49 plus 8 is what? 49 plus 8.
57.
57. 56. 56.
These are the 2 subnets. So what does that mean? That means that for this network 6, we can take one of them. Right? Take 1. So network 3 is what? 192.168.0.49 forward slash what?
29.
29. Then our subnet in binary is what? 255.
Dot
255. 255. Dot what? This is 240
240.
plus 8, 248. The same thing, you keep on going all the way till you get to the end. So you see, now at the end of this exercise, we're gonna have it's okay, professors. At the end of this exercise, we're gonna have 6 initial subnet that we've not used. Now you can see how we have saved IP addresses. Instead of assigning you a block, each of you a block, I have just saved my. Now, how many of those? I only use 2 subnets to be able to fulfill this. I have 6 more subnets I can assign to somebody else. Now you understand why subnetting is important for IPv4. Any question? No question. All right, we can end that.